All right, welcome everyone. We're live back for Season 9, Zenith Online Racing. This is Tier 1, Round 1 of 13. So 13 races this season. This is Round 1. We're kicking it off with Silverstone. Brazil is going to be the final race on the calendar, and everything in between is equally as good, if not better. I am Art Biga, joined in the booth tonight by Spot Up Triples, filling in for GP Colin. How are we doing tonight, sir?
Doing well. Got big shoes to fill, but I'll do it admirably.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to getting some racing underway. So, first thing to note for the viewers, back to pace-based tiers. So, all assists, for the most part, are allowed tonight. So we've sorted this as our fastest drivers are in this tier, whether they're using assists or not, and we're hoping that'll give a little bit more competitive balance. The no assist tier is moved to Thursday nights, and that will be open to all Tier 1 and Tier 2 drivers. So Tier 2 is Wednesday evenings at 8, and then Thursday is no assist tier, and anyone can race there whether you use assists or not. They are restricted though, so expect some good racing there on Thursdays. A lot of the no assist guys stayed there. Some of them are racing in Tier 1 or Tier 2 and the no assist tier. So hoping to get some quality racing in Tier 1 and Tier 2 mainly, and then the no assist tier sort of be like a sort of a fun challenge for everybody on that Thursday night. So looking forward to Season 9, as we said, 13 races, a little shorter than we're used to. We're trying to make it count though, and we're trying to make sure the drivers don't feel burned out and that they are a little more motivated to show up every week, knowing every race counts a lot more. So a little bit of change for Season 9, but we're trying to improve the quality of each tier versus the quantity of drivers amongst 3 or 4 tiers. And we're hoping for some good racing. So on board right now with Rex. He is coming down the back straight, just about to wrap up his first lap of the season, the first hot lap of Season 9. Rex looking to make a statement here. Yeah, it's all to play for. Everybody on 0 points. You asked before the stream, what am I interested to see? And I would say it's really about the competitive balance. Like, how close are these drivers going to be to one another? Is there going to be a massive discrepancy in pace through the field, or are we going to see some really, really tight battles up and down? Just to elaborate on that thought, I'll ask you the same question. What are you most interested to see tonight?
Yeah, so I race with Mario World in Tier 3, and I'm curious to see now that he is in a tier with very similar pace. I'm curious where he fits into this.
Yeah.
And, was he holding off at times in Tier 3? So it'll be interesting, like what if Janet and Mario are together on track? You have what was last season Tier 1 and Tier 3. Now suddenly, they're both right on the same with each other.
Yeah, it's interesting. I noticed the same thing. Like you said, some guys moving up all the way from Tier 3. So obviously we've amalgamated the tiers a little bit. We kind of only have 2 real tiers now. So Tier 3 and 2, some of the quicker drivers from those tiers may have actually squeaked into Tier 1. There's also just a lot of people that didn't bother signing up for this season, which is fairly understandable, as we did see a lot of burnout and frustration with this game and the way it runs, and just a lot of issues throughout the season. So we're back to crossplay though. Crossplay has been working for us in the test races and whatnot, so expect that to remain for the season, and we're hoping that's a way for us to fill the grid up a little bit more as we move on. So probably do some recruiting this week, and hopefully we'll get some new drivers in to get involved next week and try to build from there. Season 10 obviously will be the new game, so we're tentatively planning for this season to be over by about May 11th or so. For tier 3 or no assist tier would be done May 11th. So if we have to reschedule or anything like that, we do have some time to tack things on to the end of the calendar. So that's something we wanted to do, and just kind of give everybody a little break before the new game comes out, because I'm imagining they're looking at a July release again. That's going to give us a couple months off, and then hopefully we can rally the troops and build up the roster a little bit to try and come back strong in Season 10.
I think the calendar really lends itself to this being a fun season. I think what the admin team did choosing calendar was fantastic. I know this game has its issues, but this is a great way to, ride out this game cycle, finish strong, and like you said, get to a point where we're building up for the new game.
We got Wild Bill in the chat. How are you doing, my friend? Yeah, that's a great point. It's something, we can elaborate on a little bit now while we're in qualifying. So the calendar this season was 13 races, and we figured with it being a shorter calendar, it would make more sense to... basically what we did was during signups, we asked everybody to give us their top 5 tracks. And we counted all those votes, and we put them and we tallied them, and, we had the list of whatever it was, 21 or 23 tracks, that are in the game, and we took the top 13 with the most votes. There was a tie. Whoa, big moment for Fusions. Oh, he's lucky he didn't lose a tire there. Right into the barrier, but it looked like once he lost the car, he kind of kept spinning on purpose to try not to careen into the wall. Anyway, so yeah, what we did was we took the top 13 tracks. There was a tie, I believe, between, I think it was Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and another circuit, and we didn't do Bahrain last season, so we thought, well, that's kind of, let's just put that into the calendar then, since it wasn't raced during Season 8. That was pretty much the only discrepancy we had. And then we hit the random generator, and we let the tracks randomize, and we ended up with this calendar where Brazil was third and Canada was last. And I basically just looked at it and thought, wow, that calendar's like immaculate besides those two. So I said, let's just swap those two. Make Brazil the season finale, Canada the third race, and this is the calendar we ended up with. So, yeah, it's brilliant. Starting at Silverstone. Next week we're going to Belgium, and then race 3 will be Canada. And let me check the... let me go through the rest of the calendar. It's a fantastic calendar. So, yeah, Canada's third. Then we got Bahrain, then Japan, Baku, and then we'll have a break for a week, so we're going to have 2 weeks off there. So Baku will be race 6, and then race 7 will be in Monza. That will be 2 weeks later. And that's the only break this season. So just 1 2-week break in the middle of the season, and then we finish the calendar. So Monza, 7th. Australia is 8th. Singapore is 9th. Hungary is 10th. Spain is 11th. Austria is 12th. And then Brazil is the season finale. So really, really strong calendar. And we know... this is what the drivers want because the numbers told us that's what they wanted. I think that's a fantastic little run. And oddly enough, the random generator, other than us swapping Canada and Brazil, it actually sort of geographically aligns as well. We go from Britain to Belgium to Canada, which they always kind of treat as a European leg anyway for some reason. And it's always in the middle of all the European races, Canada. And then we've got Bahrain, Japan, Baku, sort of the Asian countries there. The Eastern Europe or Asia countries. And then we go back to Europe for Italy, Australia, and then Singapore. Those don't really work together, but Australia and Singapore do. And then we got Hungary, Spain, Austria. Obviously those work together, and then Brazil for the finale. And that's always kind of in the flyaway end of the season portion anyway. So yeah, I don't know what it was. It was, we were just kind of sitting there, and I was having a couple drinks, me and Bobby, sorting out the calendar, sorting out the tiers, and trying to get everybody rolling. And see Asylum just passing Carson there, I think it was. We'll jump on board with Asylum and catch the end of his lap. And that's a good lap from Asylum up into P8. So take a look at those lap times. They are pretty competitive. We got our quick guys at the top there. Seye, I believe he's still running without his assist, so really good lap time from Seye there. Lunar and Tibram, I think Lunar also no assist, right?
I I think, yeah, he ran Tier 1 last
Yeah,
year. So
Mario. Yep, so Mario is the guy you were saying from Tier 3, and he's, like you said, very competitive there. He's right in the mix with Rex, Sam, T-Money. Those guys are all mainstays up at the top of the tiers for us. So, yeah, like I said, this is what I was hoping to see. And, I mean, 27.6 for P2, 28.6 for P12. That's really good to see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to when this thing kicks off at the first lap and through the beginning stages when cars are really close, you know, who can manage the race in the midfield and who can keep it on track. You know, that's really half the battle.
Yeah.
Is being consistently strong for, you know, 26 laps here.
Absolutely, and I would say something like I noticed last year in the no assist here. We did a lot of, obviously I streamed that all season as it was the Monday night stream. But we did notice a lot of, I would say, less incidents. Like, there was less collisions, there was less, you know, spinning, stuff like that. Like, the drivers were a little more under control. You know, obviously without the assists and stuff. I feel like it's a little easier to test the limits when you have the ABS or the traction control that can kind of bail you out of sticky situations. So it will be interesting to see how really just everybody manages. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this season, and hopefully, you know, really it was just numbers last season that were hurting us a lot. I think the racing was pretty quality through all tiers, but ideally Tier 1, I'm hoping we can find a few more guys to jump into that roster, and then we can have consistent 15 plus driver grids. We do have a fair, I think there's 4 full-time reserves, so there's going to be potential for, you know, 20-man fields if those guys show up some weeks, and the no assist here obviously is kind of open to anybody. So guys that run with assists might go, you know what, you know, I'm doing really good in my assist here. You know, I got nothing to lose, so I'll jump into that no assist here and give it a shot, see how I hold up against some of the other guys.
Yeah, and I believe, say, to your point earlier, I think he is still running no assists.
Yep.
I think I remember seeing in the chat that he has a conflict on the no assist nights, or else he would be pulling double duty as well.
Yeah. It is just, it's one of those things, like, I think once you learn to drive with no assist, it's really, it's almost silly to go back, right? It'd be silly to go back and put assists back on, because you kind of have to relearn how to drive with them again. And I think, you know, there's some guys that they're comfortable with the assist on and they don't want to learn without them, and that's fine, because they're, you know, they're just not willing to put in the practice and stuff like that. I can understand why. Like, it is a time-consuming game, and especially if you're on a wheel and, you know, you don't have, like, you're just running sort of your basic wheel setup. Like, you don't have the super sensitive throttle and the super sensitive brake pedals, and you turn those assists on just to give yourself a little bit of support, so that you can just kind of have fun rather than focus on, you know, every finite detail. And I totally understand both sides of the spectrum. I'm not gonna lie, if I jumped in here without assists on, I'd be shocked if I could even get a 130 on the board. I'm so rusty, and I'd say I've basically, the last 2 full F1 games, I don't think I've actually done any meaningful racing in. So I've more or less for the last 2 years bought this game to commentate, which is a little bit ludicrous in this economy.
Yeah, well, on your point of the flipping assists on and off, I am a no assist driver, and I tried mid-season in season 3. I was like, you know, well, these guys are running ABS on, let me flip it on and see what I can do in a practice session and see if I can pick up speed. And you're totally right, there's 2 different, to have that on versus off is 2 different driving styles. And when I flipped it on, I was not able to pick up the speed. I was actually slower with ABS on. You know, there's just a style that you have to have for each one, and it's just, I don't think you can go back and forth easy.
Yeah, no, it isn't. Yeah, you sort of learn how to drive without them, and then to go backwards and put them back on, it's almost it. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it is counterproductive, and you're basically having to relearn how to drive again. So, I know I haven't driven for a few years, but I still remember all these little phases that I went through when I was taking assists off and stuff. To be honest, like I waited a really long time to switch to manual gears, and it was one of the biggest pains in the asses for me to adjust to was the downshifting and upshifting, because you just get used to the AI doing it for you, and it's always like perfect, right? So found the shifting became a bit of an issue, but now if I jump in and race, like the gear, I just do the gears. I don't even think about them. I just kind of do them. So I think once you learn the gears, it's T-Money's got a hell of a lap time up here. 27.5 for T-Money. That's gonna be the best lap I've seen him put in like 2 seasons. That's extremely competitive.
From an observer, I remember him being towards the back end of the no assist tier, so that I was not expecting that. That's the first big surprise right there.
Yeah, and he's had assists off for a long time, like well before we even considered doing a no assist tier. We had T-Money running 0. I don't even think he has the line on. I think he's like fully no assist. So, yeah, really solid lap from him. Hopefully he can do something in the race with that. Yeah, the lap times are extremely competitive. Like, look at T-Money down to Mario, all within a tenth of each other. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers within a tenth, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers within a few tenths of those guys. I mean, it's top to bottom competitive here. And don't be... Zenith, even last season, wasn't the strongest qualifier, but extremely quick in a race. Very smart on the strategy. Don't be surprised if Zenith's in that top 5 by the end.
Yeah, and he's still on a hot lap right now as well. Looks like older tires, though.
Nope, someone's going around. That's... What was it? Carson it was, yeah. Got Zenith with his variety of screen names. Mott Legin. Zenith is on a flyer, so let's check in with Jin. Probably gonna... Oh, he's actually invalidated, so he's done. Carson, we know, spun. He's probably done. Vinny pulled over. I think that's it for quali. So, first pole position of the season going to T-Brum. Lunar Jedi will take P2. T-Money will finish 3rd. Fusions is 4th. Say will start 5th. Mario World, good to see, P6. So, right in the mix. Very competitive. It looks like we got him into the right tier. I mean, there's really nothing in it between those. Oh, look at that. Say edges out T-Money. Just barely missed out on P2. T-Brum's going to be a problem at the front there. He's 4 tenths up on the next closest driver, so I guess he's our new Packer. Sam, P7. Rex will take P8. Asylum will be 9th. Carson is 10th. Verts is 11th. Slasher will be 12th. Vinny, 13th. Zenith is 14th. And Grim Reaper will start 15th. That is it for quali. Round 1 of Season 9 qualification is over. And we'll take a very short break and get the race underway.
A little throwback to 2020 and 2021 with Mercedes, Red Bull there in the top 3. If only Haas was usually in 4th.
Yeah, actually, T-Brum and Lunar. Everyone's complaining in the chat, who the hell let these guys be teammate?
Has the chat said what the weather forecast is?
I did not see any weather updates. I thought when we first loaded in, I was thinking, it looks a little gray. I mean, there's always a chance of rain here, I think. almost time for some more wine. I was going to do that. Oh, well, if it rains in this race, I'm going to be pretty shocked.
Yeah, that looks about as clear as it's going to get on this game.
That's probably the nicest weather they've ever seen in Britain. There's not a lot of sunny days over there. All right, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to this. Like, if the quality times are that competitive, you got to figure the race is going to be. There's going to be some serious trains here. Like, I imagine we're probably going to have a couple guys break off, and then there's going to be like just basically the rest of the field all chasing one another. So, good to be back.
It's going to be interesting to see Jen handle starting from the rear in such a tight midfield. How he's able to manage that traffic.
Another thing too is I don't think there's as much pressure on Jinnit right now for Tier 1. Like, he originally signed up for no assist only. He only jumped into the Tier 1 roster after he saw it wasn't full. He was like, throw me in. So for him, I think this is a good, it's a good kind of like fun night of racing for him, and I think he'll take the no assist a little more seriously, and that's kind of where he wants to shine, right? So, and that's the thing, like the guys that are racing no assist that are competing in Tier 1, like this isn't the level playing field that they were part of last year. So I think it's going to be good for us as viewers, good for us as broadcasters. It'll be good for the viewers watching at home to have more competition and more quality drivers racing one another. But some of these guys are probably more interested in succeeding on Thursday night rather than tonight. And that's sometimes beneficial. You take that pressure off yourself. You can kind of just go have fun and just focus on enjoying the racing. It's funny that I said as clear as I've ever seen it. There's a couple little clouds creeping in over top of the paddock there.
Yeah, this game's funny, especially in a broadcast mode. It can start raining and you can't really tell.
Yeah. Look at that. Nobody readied up either. Everybody's good to go.
Successful launch.
Yeah, man. It's been a solid start. Solid start for sure. I suppose we could have actually had more drivers. It looks like Zmoglis kind of got stuck at work there.
I think we've all been there. I feel that pain.
Yeah. Alright, whoa. Well, clumsy starts there on the formation lap.
Oh dear. Mercedes in the gravel. At least it was on my screen.
Yeah, I see that as well.
Looks like T-Brum. Oh, disqualified.
So he'll be cold tires to start, which actually might be beneficial for us. Give us a little more competition at the front. Sure, he's not thrilled about it though. All right.
Yeah, it's such a short getaway too to that first corner. A good start here is pretty paramount, especially with how tight those qualifying times were. Yeah,
I think so. Lunar's starting on the hards too, and T-Brum as well. So T-Brum's going to be starting on cold, hard tires. That is going to be a struggle for the first few laps. This could be, say, an opportunity to get himself at the front. I'm assuming Jinnit, I was going to say Jinnit's got to be on the hards. Pretty much everyone outside the top 10 on the hard tires, understandable. Asylum in 9th on the mediums, questionable decision there. I think he would have been better off on the hards. I can kind of see why the guys 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th would go medium, try and maybe get in the front and get away from some of their competitors. I can see why they would do that, but the further down the field, I would think it would make more sense to further down the field, I think it would make more sense for them to start on the hard tires for sure. All right, grid is reforming. Got a few stragglers around the back here, but looks like we're just about ready to go racing. This is Season 9. Can't believe I'm saying that. Season 9 of Zenith Online Racing. It's Round 1 of Tier 1, Silverstone, Great Britain Grand Prix. Let's get those lights fired up and let's get racing. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And they're off. We are racing in Britain. Terrible camera angles here to start. And a great start from Say. Launches up the middle into first place. What a start. Unbelievable stuff. And there's a spin around the back. McLaren's gone around.
Yep,
that's Zenith.
It's Zenith.
Yeah, that's not what he wanted. And Say with a dream start. And there's a collision behind. It looks like someone got into the rear of that Alfa Romeo and slowed a few other drivers up. But Say has gone like a bolt of lightning off on the start. And all the drivers behind him were side by side with one another and had to yield into turn 1. And that allowed Say to really pull that gap. So got a few guys going wheel to wheel here. There's a little bit of banging. T-Brum and Rex.
Aston goes around. Vinny sips.
Yeah, Vinny and Zenith going to be around the back now, trying to catch up. Got some work to do. And this looks like this is going to be our main group here. Looks like Vert's at the back of it. He's got a Slasher 3 seconds off. So I think Slasher was one of those cars that kind of got tangled up in that little collision there and dropped off the front runners. So as long as these guys stay close to one another, I think Slasher and those guys behind can easily work their way back up and get close. So comes Asylum, taking a look at T-Brum here. So T-Brum with a nightmare start. Those cold hards down into 5th.
Fusions just overtook Slasher. We know how fast Fusions is. I'm sure he'll be catching up to that train quickly as well.
Yeah, Fusion's kind of lurking in the weeds here. You know, didn't have a dominant qualifying session. Didn't really put up anything outstanding, but very, very fast driver, and he could be a problem in this race for sure.
A lot of guys pitting. Must be broken wings early.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Carson and Mario.
I was thinking a couple cars might have got tagged in a chunk there. Oh, big move here. Looks like Lunar trying to take a look at T-Money. But yeah, looks like a few cars may have got tangled with a car kind of came across the front of them and they had to stop. So, but not surprised. But we did take off the floor and rear wing damage, so that should help guys stay competitive even if they do pick up a front wing damage or anything along those lines. Hopefully we have more cars that aren't limping to the end of the races this season.
Yeah, unfortunate. The rear wing, you know, you can't replace that.
Yeah, I think if you could fix the stuff, it might be a little more tempting to use it, but oh, look at that. That's a really aggressive defense from Rex there. T-Brum trying to get around. Oh, and they bumped.
Oh, they hit again.
Yeah, these two are going at it. Very feisty stuff. T-Brum looking to get another run here. Oh, nearly loses the car there. It was all over the curb when he got on the power, and then the whole back end stepped out, and now he's really under threat from Asylum. DRS is enabled now, so should see some overtaking start to pick up.
So far, the medium guys are doing pretty well out front. It'll be interesting when the crossover point of tires hits, when medium and hard kind of equalize. I guess for say right now, these are your money laps, trying to build up as big of a gap as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I think Lunar has a move set up on T-Money. DRS zone. Not able to complete it.
And now that the DRS is active, it's like all the other guys are getting it as well, so I think really that it's going to hurt T-Money the most, but... Whoa, big moment there! That is this Rex going round. And that will free up T-Brum, who does pick up a penalty, but T-Brum now in clear air, he's going to be able to go charge up and put some pressure on these guys at the front. So T-Money... on the medium tires, see how long you can hold off these guys on the hards. Got to figure without the DRS is going to be at a big disadvantage, but T-Money has been one of the better drivers at defending in previous seasons. He's usually good to keep guys behind him for quite some time, so...
Yeah, he was able to defend in the DRS last lap, and it seems like he has a lot of straight line speed on this setup, going down the straights.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's obviously a pretty quick setup he's got, because he had one of the best qualifying times, so not be surprised. And like just a side note here, the crossplay looks like it's working fantastic still, just like it was all preseason. I haven't seen any weird issues or rubber banding or glitching or anything. I know we've only got a couple. We got Verts in the Xbox and Ginnet on the PC. Other than that, they're just mainly all PlayStation guys. But I found even with mainly PlayStation guys last season, we were having issues every race. So really good to see that they've at least sorted the stability out for that.
Yeah, I've seen no issues on my screen.
It's the fastest lap for Lunar there. Track lights up purple on the right. On board with Lunar, riding on the side pod right now. It looks like he's hunting down T-Money. T-Brum closing in behind, but Lunar hoping he can get by T-Money in the next couple laps, so he's not under threat. But yeah, that's the top. I would say the top 7 there. Everybody really close to one another, very competitive still, and there's a couple big gaps in the field, but there's a lot of cars nearby those guys. So
T-Money's having an especially strong race because he's actually cut about half a second from Seye in the last couple laps. It was 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, that's interesting to point that out. I almost kind of expected Seye to just kind of get away here, but he is starting to lose time to T-Money here. And if T-Money is able to pick up DRS, Seye could be in trouble. I don't know, man. It's been a long time since I've seen a T-Money win, but it looks like he's got the pace to do it tonight. It's just a matter of actually putting it all together, and he's obviously going to be on the slower tire at the end of the race as well, so the stars align, you never know. It could be some safety cars tonight. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen still that could result in some guys getting a benefit. If we were to get a safety car in the next few laps, it's obviously going to benefit the guys on the mediums, right? The guys on hards are going to have to stay out there and keep running. So yeah, they did finally update tires on this game, so those that are on, you have a couple of sets of mediums for the race finally. Okay.
There for a while, you just had one set of hards and one set of mediums for race, which was made strategy a nightmare.
Looks like Rex has got back by Ginnet. Ginnet trying to close back in. He's really putting the pressure on. Nice shot from the broadcast here, though. It's a chopper cam or drone cam, whatever it is. Really good view there, but we'll get back to the front here. We'll got T-Brum and Lunar putting some pressure on T-Money. This is probably going to be the best battle for the next little while.
And T-Money is just slowly chipping away at Seye.
Yeah, I wonder if Seye maybe just gone into a little tire fuel management right now, knowing that these guys are not stampeding past T-Money right now. He can kind of use him as a bit of a buffer. I would doubt he would be intentionally allowing this gap. Like, you would do that when you have a 3 or 4 second gap, not a 1.5 second gap. So if that's the strategy, I wouldn't recommend it. I doubt it is strategy. It's probably just more so setup. Maybe Seye just struggling to keep the tires in the right temperature, right in the window. So say generally one of the stronger drivers in the field, but I, for some reason, just feel like there is a little bit of struggle with the tire management aspects. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is something that's happening at the moment. I'm not sure if I'm just making that up or not, but for some reason in my head thinking, oh yeah, he does seem to struggle with the tires a bit.
Yeah, and you know, you wonder too how many people underfueled and banked on a little bit of a safety car at the beginning.
Yeah.
Hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Looks like Zenith back in front of Rex now, swapping places down in the grid there. And T-Brum reeling in Lunar now. And Lunar has got to be looking in the rear view mirror a little bit more than forward, I think, at this stage. They are teammates, though. I wonder how cooperative they'll be. Asylum doing a nice job hanging on there as well. He's on the medium tire, so he's a little... He's on the opposite strategy of these guys, but if he can stay with them, and he might be able to pull off something with the undercut or overcut.
Yeah, it seems the hard tires, they stay pretty consistent, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone attempt a big undercut here.
Yeah, I think especially the guys on hard tires, anyone on the hard tires right now, like, you got to figure if you get a fresh set of mediums on there, and you're dealing with guys on old hards and or even newer hards, I think the undercut from hard to medium would be a lot stronger than the medium to hard. The hards do take a lap or two to get working well, so I don't think if you're pitting off the mediums to hards that you're going to have as strong of an undercut, but the hard to medium probably going to be very successful undercut.
Yeah, especially, you know, halfway through a race.
Oh!
Oh!
Lunar. Team Mercedes in shambles. Lunar just, the back end stepped out on him, and he kind of just drifted into the wall, lost his whole front, and Fusions is out. Fusions with a huge collision, lost the tire, and I think that's the safety car. It is. It's a full safety car. Does Say have time to get into the pits? He's so close. No, he's missed the pit entry. He's going to be behind the safety car. Oh my goodness. And Asylum's missed the pit entry as well, but everybody else diving in. How has Asylum missed the pit entry? Oh my, this is going to really shake things up. Or no, are they going to let Say go past the safety car here? Let's find out, because in theory it should collect him. Right? No reason not to collect the leader at this stage. That's it. So everybody pitting right now. Interesting.
Yeah, Say is gonna be on the radio on that safety car to speed up a little bit here.
Oh yeah.
Same with T-Money as well.
Big time. So all those guys that pit, I guess they're going to be throttled by the Delta. Oh no, it'll probably be catch the safety car, right?
That's what I would presume, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the way, like, where it happened and where the safety car was dispatched. The top guys just couldn't. There wasn't even an option for them to go in the pits because the pit entry is so much further than. It's pretty far from where you actually cross the line. Like, it's well ahead, right? Like, it looks like 1, 2, 3 corners before. 3 corners after the pit entry.
This is also one of the slowest pit lanes on the calendar, so this will be really costly pitting late.
This could work out really nicely for Sam, Bert, anyone who's got onto a fresh set of hards like Slasher and Carson could benefit them, but they're just so far down the order, I'm not sure that they're actually going to gain anything. I'm thinking Sam and Bert and Rex are probably going to be the biggest gainers here. Maybe Zenith sneaks in front of these guys as well. We'll have to see how this pans out. I'm going to stay with Sam here because he's going to be our or a marker for how this is going to pan out. Oh yeah. These guys at the front did nothing wrong, and they're losing out massive here.
It's going to be a pretty sizable fall, too.
Oh yeah. Like, it looks like all of those guys are going to come out behind, even Lunar and Zenith, too.
On and, say, T-Money and Asylum are going to be on the hards, whereas everybody else is going to be on medium.
And that's fine for now, but do you really think these mediums are going 16 laps? Because I don't.
I think you got to try to make them.
Yeah, I don't think you have much of a choice, right? But
Yeah.
you have to try, or you just hold out for another safety car. But I would say...
helps that... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No worries. I would say strategy-wise, the guys that are on fresh hards, say T-Money, Asylum, they're probably in the best boat right now for getting to the end of the race comfortably. But how are the tires going to hold up for these guys on mediums? Is there a chance that they can get to the end?
It's going to help them that they've burnt off a sizable chunk of fuel. But that's pretty much the only advantage, is that chunk of fuel that they've burned off enough to save the tires this long.
Yeah.
That'll be the question.
So 14 cars remain. Any of the guys that got caught up in that first lap incident probably really happy that the safety cars brought them back into contention now. I'd imagine we won't see any more clumsy stuff like that with the safety car restarts a little smoother generally than a race start, so. Yeah, should be a pretty competitive end to the race. I think we'll do one more lap under safety car, I presume. Yeah, we've still got a few stragglers trying to catch up there, so. You know what that means? Time to top up the wine. Also gonna get on my vape, my little vape pen here.
What's the wine of choice?
It's just some white chilled wine. It's pretty much all I drink wine-wise. It's a Pinot Grigio. A local vineyard.
Yeah, particularly the guys that lost their wing on the first lap and had to get it replaced are very happy right now.
Yeah, they benefited massively from that. I would say also the guys, I don't know, it's kind of funny because it benefited the guys that, you know, leapfrogged the front runners, but they are also on a tire that is very questionable to make it to the end, so I would say it's sort of like, really at this point, it's pretty up in the air about, you know, who's actually in prime position to win this thing. Like, it's really up in the air still, in my opinion.
I think Zenith's in a pretty good spot.
He would.
You know,
I think if anyone can make those tires go in the end, Zenith's my candidate from that chunk of cars. I've seen him do it. He's very good at managing his pace. So. Do not be surprised if he pulls off a miracle here. I have not had the chat open for a bit, so if anybody said anything, I apologize. Safety car in, as we suspected. We're about halfway.
Nobody said anything in chat.
Alright, no
Just
worries.
Bill.
Just Bill said, yo. Yeah, I got the weirdest vape cartridge, though, for that vape pen. It's, it tastes like mustard. I don't know why. Never in my life, like, I was like, why does it taste like mustard? It's so weird. Anyways, back to racing. T-Brum, he's dropped the power, I think. I think we're going. It looks like he got a good jump on Grim. Sam caught napping a little bit. He's lost some ground. And Bert's all over him here. So let's get racing again. We're about halfway through the first round of Tier 1.
Looks like everybody kept it clean there too.
Yep, very important. Want to make sure everybody, especially if you were someone who picked up damage in the beginning part of the race, you want to make sure you get through this phase untouched so you get a clear crack at things here. You don't want to be having another incident that takes you out of contention here. So far, a good kickoff to the season. No weird stuff, no glitches, no bad collisions, you know, some mistakes, individual mistakes for the most part. I don't like anybody ran anyone off the road there. It was just guys making errors on their own. Oh, look at that. I love watching these cars go nose to tail through Abbey and Cops, man. Like, full, flat-out corners like that. It's on a lot of these race broadcasts, but it never gets old.
Oh, looks like Grim.
Sam. Yeah, I suspected Grim would get picked off slowly here. Sam the first to make a move. A little bit of bumping there, but I think Sam's going to have him just on the grip. He just needs a smart line, and there it is for Sam. So, nice work for him. Grim with a little twitch there. Under serious pressure. He's got 2 cars on him. Rex and Verts closing in. Oh, this is going to be tight through here. Verts is going to want to stay in. Can't back out of that, but he had to because he didn't have the right line. And there's a little contact. Oh, man, he saved it. Verts almost lost.
What a
oh,
move.
My goodness. Unbelievable stuff from Verts there. And then it looks like, is it Rex that lost the car? Man, Verts with that. That was the most monstrous switchback I think I've ever seen. Like, it looked like he almost lost the car, saved it, and then all of a sudden dives down the inside and gains 2 places again. Like, unbelievable.
That was insane. He was definitely heading for the gravel, saved it, and then up the inside.
Yeah,
Incredible.
It looked like him and Rex touched on the like sort of exit after Abbey there, and they were both trying to get the car stabilized, and both just barely did, and then Verts out of nowhere just sends it, makes an incredible move. I'd love to see it. I was actually on board with Grim looking out the rear wing. Man, what a shot. Like, that's going on the highlight reel.
Yeah, you
Here
think
comes
when,
Carson. Rex trying to make another move here. Man, Rex is his own worst enemy. He's one of the quickest drivers I've seen, but he makes these errors and he always has to like climb back up through the field, you know? I would say he's one of the quickest out there, but just lacking the consistency. He needs to stay at the front. Oh, Verts. He got clambered into there by Grim. I don't know if it was it Verts sticking his nose in or Grim just not leaving the room.
He's got his eye in there.
Yeah, Grim is really defending hard, but he's got no tires. You can tell he's just struggling. Verts, it looks like he's going to get through here. He got through. He may have got some damage. I can't tell yet. I think he's okay. But he got smacked pretty good by Grim and almost lost out. But, you know, he's kept his cool in a couple tricky situations where he's been bumped by another driver, nearly lost the car. He's stabilized and kept his cool, and he's doing a hell of a job here. So, kudos to him. Driving his ass off tonight, driving his heart out. So, love to see it. Love that move. I think that was highlight of the night for me. And don't look now, but here comes Mr. Zenith on a charge here.
Slowly sneaking up the field.
Yeah.
Looks like T-Money got around.
That's his MO. T-Money, yeah, T-Money's, he was having a great night. Don't like to see that.
Really at all.
But
It all started unraveling under that safety car.
Zenith's like a serial killer, you know? It's the same patterns every single week with him. Subpar qualifying, starts at the back on the right strategy, bides his time, picks his battles, makes his move, and all of a sudden he's there sniffing around a podium again. He doesn't mess up either. Like, I almost never see him make a mistake. And when's the last time you saw
interesting,
Zenith
too,
just
is
spin the car? Like, it doesn't happen.
consistency is key. It's a marathon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder how many of these...
Something to note... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just wonder how many of these guys could drive this flawless for 100% race distance, you know? Because for me, like, when I used to race, it was like... sometimes you start getting tired, or your hands getting sore, or whatever it is. You know, to a certain extent, you get to this point where you're starting to feel like... you're like, oh, jeez, man, I'm just, like... You know, a long way to go still, but... It's, you know, you can always convince yourself, oh, there's only another 15, 20 minutes of racing to go. Like, if you're racing for 100%, you start feeling some of those issues. You know, it's an hour you gotta get through, not 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like in the rain races, you know.
Yeah.
It creates such a longer race, and when you're done, especially if it's a full wet race, you know, you feel significantly more drained having done it, just by sheer of having to focus with the rain, not sliding around. I can't imagine a 100% race.
Yeah. Really tough. You know, I don't know, it's a weird thing. Like, you know, there's certain guys that, like I said, Zenith never spins the car, and it's like, there's a lot of other guys in the field like that, and it just... Because they don't do it, you don't really think about it. You know, so I don't even know who I would say are those drivers, because they're kind of flying under the radar in terms of having incidents. Whereas, you know, go back to Rex, where it's like, Rex is like like I said, one of the fastest guys in the field every single night. But just has these little spins or little half spins, and he costs himself positions in time. Whereas, like, you know, he probably on pure pace should be winning every race.
Yep, the old racecraft trait, or overall rating on the game for these guys.
That's true.
One thing to note that's interesting is T-Brum is, putting in fantastic lap times up in first. He's actually building a gap over Sam.
Yeah, I found that really interesting, and I'm starting to wonder how these mediums are holding up. I mean, we saw in the first stint, the 8-lap-old medium runners weren't looking too hot, so I'm starting to wonder if these tires are, like, getting close to the cooked stage, you know?
Yep. Especially sunny day.
Did Say have an issue? Because he's way down the field.
He must have. He and T-Money both have suffered. Although Asylum has hung in very well.
Yeah, he's doing a hell of a job.
The bad luck on the safety car. So yeah, something must have happened there.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Say is not doing what he needs to, but Asylum has kept himself in a great spot, because if you look at T-Brum on those hards has to pit. Everybody else on those mediums is going to struggle severely. So even if Asylum, it's even in 3 laps, can start reeling these guys in and still pass them all. So,
yeah, he's definitely rooting for no safety car here. And T-Brum fastest lap again.
Yeah, he's Lewis Hamilton out there. Tires are fine. Leave me out, Bono.
And Sam is really losing time. So these mediums, like you said, I don't know that they can make it at this point.
Zenith seems to be the only one that's making them work right now. And I do wonder if this is something that Zenith goes for with his setups, or if it's just his driving style, but he is able to eke out the tires better than almost anyone else, I would say, in the field. I mean, he consistently stretches tires well beyond their life. It's something that you see often with him, whereas there's guys like Sam where it doesn't seem like they ever just make those tires last. Like there's certain drivers that they just, the way they drive is use up the tire, and it's fine if you're on the right strategy and you're working within the you know, the parameters of your race strategy. But when things go awry and you have to pit off schedule and now, you know, extend the life of a tire that's not meant to go this far, there's certain drivers that excel at it, and there's certain drivers that just can't, because it's not the way they can drive. They can't drive fast and take care of a tire or make it last longer than it's meant to.
T-Brim pits.
T-Brim pits.
He also has 6 seconds of time penalty, which could play a significant factor considering most of the drivers have kept it clean from a track limit perspective.
Yeah, and something else you mentioned is how slow the pit stop is here. And I would say almost everybody ended up pitting under safety car, whether it was initially or in that second wave of stops. But all of those people would have saved a lot of time, because look at T-Brim now. I mean, he is down in 12th. He's behind Save. He also crossed the white line on the exit there. I'm not sure if the game would ding him for that, or if we as a league would do something about it. I wouldn't say it was dangerous. There was nobody there, but still technically like illegal. And Say spun the car.
Say, yeah.
And T-Brim's dropped. Oh my. Things going south here. But yeah, Say, man, he's like I said, he's behind Say now, and now Say's had another accident. T-Brim back. That was quick. But yeah, you know, considering T-Brim came out behind Say, who we assume had some sort of incident and fell down the order, like that is, yeah, that's a lot of work for T-Brim. There's no enormous time gaps, but there's some time gaps to overcome. Especially the one he's working on right now to Slasher. I mean, that's a hefty margin.
Yeah. It's a 15-second gap with penalties.
Yeah.
To do in 7 laps.
You can't pit if you're on those mediums. There's no way you can pit. Those guys all have to stay out. You're better off to get a puncture, I think, than to pit and lose 30 seconds or whatever it is. I think Jennett's going to win the race.
Yeah. He has managed this beautifully.
And Verts also has managed this beautifully, because if Jennett goes up there and hounds those guys and makes them use their tires up, he can just slide into a nice P2 and doesn't really have to do any hard driving. He's got Asylum closing in. I think Asylum could be poised here for a podium as well. He's got the tire life to go and chase and fight these guys. These medium guys are really going to have to back off to make it to the end.
Yeah, and I think if everything stays the same as it is right now, Asylum has to view this result really well, because from a luck standpoint, it all went south in that first safety car for him. And
yeah.
To be able to hang in here like he has in the top 5 is really impressive.
Absolutely.
Another penalty for T-Brim.
Yeah, he's racking him up. That's going to be the big killer for him, even if he does make up some ground. But I don't see him getting past even Carson, I don't think, at this point.
Oh, and there's the 3-second time penalty for Jim.
Oh, that shakes things up a little bit. He might be quick enough to get that 3 seconds back, but you got to think his tire. Like, I mean, these other guys, I think, use them up quicker, but Jennett, you know, it's not like his are substantially better shape. He's probably going to be starting to hit a wall soon too.
He's also used up a lot of battery to get
the overtakes.
Lunar has a little bit of a battery advantage on him, and Sam has done a really good job holding battery.
Sam's going to need it because he is about to lose his gap for DRS. Lunar is going to be in DRS very shortly.
This is shaping up to be a pretty exciting ending here.
Yeah, it is. A few different spots really up in the air still, but especially the most important, the race win. I mean, kudos to Sam. I think he's on the verge of winning the first race of the season here. Like, that would be a hell of an accomplishment. You know, he really... I think with DRS, even if Sam goes behind Jennett and just doesn't get a penalty, he wins this. I think he can probably keep Lunar at bay.
And you and I were talking earlier about how important it is to just be consistent for 26 laps. Sam has done it. That's where he's gotten his positioning from. He's just been really, really consistent every single lap. No spins, no errors, just great driving.
Yeah, Lunar also probably the best recovery of the night because he smacked that wall, lost that wing. Him and T-Brum were having a hell of a night, and he's actually going to potentially, he could even win this race as well, and his teammates down in P10 right now. They looked like they were a 1-2 lock earlier.
And Asylum has gotten within DRS range of Verts. You know, those mediums possibly falling off here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Asylum in a good spot to strike here in the final laps. I don't know if he's going to be able to get himself to the podium spots, though. It looks like... I imagine Vert's also going to do some assistance for his teammate there and try and really do everything to keep Asylum behind, right? Give Jenna as big of a gap as you can.
Right.
He did move out of his way earlier to let Jenna through, and these guys are going to be the top constructor, I think, after tonight. They probably have the most points between them.
Yeah, I believe both started outside the top 10 as well. So we were talking about Jenna, you know, managing his way through the field, so is Verts.
Well, so how are we going to do interviews with the guys that aren't on PlayStation? Janet will probably just jump on his PlayStation. So we'll be able to get him, and then the other guys are pretty easy. Start writing down your questions.
Really putting the pressure.
Start writing down your questions for interviews. That's your job when you're filling in for GP.
All right, I'm on it.
Yeah. I'm not even sure who's going to be in there yet.
Yeah, Lunar has really gotten close now.
Yeah, this is... Lunar kind of out of nowhere, just like, suddenly looks like he could win this thing, because Jinnit looks like he's used up his tires. He's kind of going the wrong direction now.
Yeah, he's, and Asylum is all over Verts as well.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a done deal here. It's just got to be the tires at this point. I would say the mediums hit a wall around lap 12, and now they're off the cliff. Like, they're just toast. You can see it, the way Asylum's sizing up Verts here. I mean, hell, Asylum could win this thing if he can get by in the next couple corners and just really get on with it.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what those percentages are at on those mediums right now.
I imagine a percentage that you're not comfortable with at all. I'm sure they're all sweating. Like, it's probably like checking every few corners, checking it like, oh, please don't go up anymore. Please don't go up anymore. There's like a slasher about to make a move on Vinny, it looks like. And the move for the lead is on as well. It's too much to look at right now. So let's focus on the front and try to catch the other ones if we can. Oh, just a little bit of banding back and forth here. Slasher all over Vinny. There it comes. So there it is. Slasher makes the move. Nice job there. Let's get back to the front.
A lot of action.
There's a lot of action. This is working out great. There's 3 or 4 key battles right now, and it's just which one are we going to watch at which time. So Sam holds off a Lunar once more.
Going for it. Doesn't get it.
Circling with T-Brum there, looking to make a move on Mario. Trying to size him up. Both with DRS. T-Brum trying to pick up that slipstream to get a nice little lunge at the end, and it's not there for him. Everybody holds steady for the time being. Sam, this is ultimate pressure here. Guy has DRS. You can't do anything to stop that. And you got
Sam
Zenith
is
working
still hanging
now.
on to battery as well.
Yeah, Sam, I mean, he has to, knowing he can't get the DRS right now, right? He has to use that battery smartly. I mean, I gotta give Sam driver the day if he holds on to this and wins it. I mean, Lunar as well, considering where he was at with that wing damage. Zenith gains a ton of places. The time penalty is going to hurt him even if he manages to get ahead of either of these guys. And Asylum, actually. Asylum, he'll get Verts on the time penalty. Oh, and he picks up a penalty himself, so never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
Wow.
Yeah. They all kind of just negated each other's, like, the one little advantage they had other than track position, right? They all negated it just now. Hilarious. Comes
So
Asylum.
Oh, Sei's out.
I think he just called it a night, eh? Yeah.
Asylum wheel to wheel.
Yep. There it is. They're so close. He knows he's got another lap. He's just going to be... Oh, a little bit of a snap there. Trying to hang on. Oh, someone's going slow up here. Who's this?
Sam.
Oh, no! Sam! Oh, Sam.
Oh, my.
Or was there contact with Lunar, perhaps? And we weren't watching because of Asylum putting the pressure on there, but it's possible Sam had a collision with Lunar. Controversy.
Sam going really slow in 8th gear, too. He is falling entirely down the field. There may be some controversy.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just extremely frustrated right now. Doesn't look like he's attempting to recover, eh? Just kind of like he's in disbelief and he just retired on track. So I don't think he would have done that if it was just a spin. I feel like he must have been hit and feels robbed probably. Oh my, look at Zenith with the move. And the time penalties are all even except for on Lunar, so Zenith maybe hoping to put Lunar in a spot where he picks up a penalty here. Zenith's going to get in front. Imagine Lunar picks up a penalty on the final corner. So Lunar's going to win it. Verts brings it home for the podium. That's a hell of a drive. Asylum will take P4. So we'll invite Lunar, Zenith, and Asylum for interviews because Verts is on Xbox, so there's no way we can get him in anyway. Hopefully Zenith can jump on his PS5 or whatever and get himself in here. So those are your candidates for interviews.
T-Brum had a good little end to the race there. P8, considering how far down he was.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
That was a good night. Good night of racing for sure. Only the one safety car. 9:12 and we're done. Like, that's fantastic. Alright, let me get these guys into the party. Was it Lunar? There's Lunar. And Asylum, right?
Yep. Lunar, Zenith, Asylum.
Alright.
Hello?
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
Well, it was a hell of a race. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, I'm sweating. You know, that off-season rust.
Yeah. I don't want to like jump in too quick, but what happened with Sam? Did he just lose it, or did you guys have a?
He had a puncture. Just looked in the channel. Yeah, because I was right behind him, and then he kept going straight at like the second last turn. I was like, what just happened? And yeah, it was a puncture.
What did I say?
After that, I looked at my tires. Oh my god, I was on 80%. I like decided, I'm just gonna send it and not look at the percentage because that's just gonna make me more stressed.
Yeah.
And then on the last lap, I looked at it. I was like, oh shoot, maybe I should slow down slightly.
That's crazy, man. Wow, I did not think that was what happened. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but I did say I was
I
like
don't
Sam.
know either, especially.
I was thinking Sam. I was saying to Sam earlier in the session, I was like, Sam's sort of a guy that'll struggle with the tires more so than like Ginette. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, that's why his pace is falling. But yeah, I mean, feel free to take it away there, Spot.
Well, starting with Asylum. Is Asylum in here?
No, it's just me, Lunar.
Okay, so we get a one-man interview here. First race back, you mentioned the rust. How much do you think you lost some calories? Do you need to go rehydrate after this? I think from a entertainment perspective of doing commentary and just watching the race, those last few laps were incredible. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, it feels great. I haven't been on the top step since I won like T2, like season 7, and man, it feels great. I'm so tired. I also recently discovered during the off season that I had some saturation setting on my throttle, which made me spin all the time and made it very sensitive. So it's like my first race in this game actually with that turned off, and it just felt good. I wish the break wasn't that long, but it's so nice that we're finally racing again.
Yeah, it was just such an impressive drive. I know you had some issues early too, and to be able to come back, it's got to feel extremely rewarding.
Yeah, it does. I spun out, I was like, oh great, I guess some things don't change, and then safety car, I was like, okay, I can save something. And then on the restart, I was following Verts through all the carnage, so that super cool move, I was right behind him. That epic switchback, I was right behind him, so I just like followed and like stayed close, and yeah, it was such a good race for racing. I love this track, never a dull race.
Yeah, it's just a Formula 1 classic in real life and on the game.
Oh yeah.
So you said your tires at the end were at 80%?
Yeah, I think I probably crossed the line around 80, so I finished the first lap, or whatever. I was on lap 26, I saw Sam do that, I was like, wait, did he have a puncture? Which got me super scared. So then I looked at my tires and it was like 78%, and I was like, okay, slow down. Jenna has a penalty. It's okay. Let him overtake you if you have to. And I was also like on my last warning. Like if I got another one, I had a penalty myself. So it's like all kinds of management going on in that last lap.
Well, congratulations. Especially penalty-free penalties. It was clean. Like nobody had any penalties until lap 21, and then I guess everybody just pushing as hard as they can to the end. They started popping up everywhere. So to be able to, have that early spin, come back from it, go penalty free, great drive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And let's see, we have Asylum in here as well. I know you kind of got hurt by, well, you didn't kind of get hurt. You definitely got hurt by the first safety car, Asylum. What was going through your mind having to go on the hards and having to manage the rest of the way?
Asylum?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. So as far as that goes, I wasn't really all that worried about the hards. I did like a 26 lap practice the other day just on hard, so I was like, all right, I think I can make hards work. But I didn't get podium, did I?
No.
But
No, but we had Verts picked up the podium, or yeah, Verts picked up the
he
podium,
picked it
but he's
up.
on Xbox, so
Ah, okay, I see.
yeah. So we were like,
Well,
yeah, we'll
hats
just bring
off to
Asylum
him,
in
'cause that was a
you
great
had
battle.
yeah. I was gonna say you had a hell of a drive anyway, so we'll bring you in. I invited Jinnit as well. He's on PC, but he obviously has PlayStation, so I don't know if he's gonna make it or not.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
Oh, you are
there
here.
he is.
I didn't even notice.
Me.
Welcome. All right.
Welcome.
Carry on.
That was about me putting them as Tisk boys on stilts.
Yeah, big ups.
Asylum, was there a part of you thinking that everybody on the mediums was going to get a puncture and you were just going to ride that thing home?
So honestly, with the damage selection that we're switching to, I didn't think that was possible, but apparently it is. The other thing too is I knew that mediums, they only lasted 12 laps. So at lap 9, lap 10, if anybody was pitting then to go to mediums, it was not going to be fun for them.
Well, congratulations. It was a great result, especially on that safety car restart when you had everybody on fresh mediums around you. So, kind of unlucky with the safety car timing, but really maximized your result in the end. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and hats off to Verts.
Yeah, we'll give him a shout out here too. He had a great race. Moving on to Janet. Janet, you started in the back, and we mentioned you early, and you just slowly but surely started creeping up the field. How does it feel to go
I got spun.
back to front?
It's good, but I got at the safety car. Without that safety car, I was nowhere. I got spun at turn 1 by Slasher, and that put me seconds behind people. And I needed to be within DRS for my setup to work, and I was just falling behind. Like until that safety car come, and I had no choice but to use the mediums and just tyre conserve up until like lap 19, and then just full push. But when I got the 3-second penalty, that just turned my hand anyway, and I had to push from then on, just to pull the gap between my teammate, because I knew he would have held the silent back for me. But then they started collecting penalties, and then it was just a free for all then.
Yeah, we got one at the same time.
But yeah, it was a good race. Nice recovery. Just, there was a few dodgy incidents with some drivers, like Rex must have had an incident with a car in front. Both of them went kind of off track, and Rex just his rejoin onto track was a bit dangerous and could have caused damage if I wasn't cautious.
I think that was Verts. Was it like turn 2 or 3?
Yeah. In fact, yeah, it was Verts. There was side by side.
Yeah, they were both trying to like get their car stabilized, and then Verts made that crazy move and passed like both of you. I think. Like I don't know, man. It was nuts. It's a hell of a race.
Yeah, I'm happy with P1 on track, P2 with the pen. I'm all good. It's better than the DNF, isn't it?
Oh, big time. I mean, yeah, like
Especially in a shorter calendar.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. And that kind of consistency is going to pay off in a short calendar, right? So.
And the faster guys, some of the faster guys didn't capitalise as well. I had issues. I don't know what T-Brum was doing pitching.
Yeah,
that was
I don't
a big
know.
mistake.
What was that?
He had to.
Was that his thing, Dave?
Yet.
He was on
he
all
stayed
hards.
out.
He never pit on the safety car.
Yeah, he stayed out.
That's fair enough. My mediums ended up on something like they'd just gone as I was entering Stow on the final lap. They'd just gone to the red on the tyre marker, so I was comfortable. But I actually thought Lunar Jedi had a puncher towards the end, like because he was so slow. Or like you said, he was just being cautious, knowing I had the penalty. Hello.
Hello.
Yep. Still here.
It just went absolutely stone deaf.
Listening.
Yeah, had too much wine.
I was just eating a pepperoni. I figured you guys didn't want to hear that, so.
Oh, I had a cheesesteak pizza before the race.
Oh,
that's
that
like
explains
barbecue
why you were driving so well. running on that cheesesteak pizza. All right, Well, let's wrap it up. We'll call it a night. That was a really great first round, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday night. Hopefully, hopefully we've got a nice little stream team for you on Wednesday. If not, I might have to jump in the booth again, but I'm looking forward to getting things rolling, and we're off to Belgium next week. So catch you guys next Monday, 8 p.m., Tier 1 in Belgium. And then we got Great Britain Wednesday night for Tier 2, and then the No Assist Tier is going to be running the opposite calendar this season. They'll be starting with Brazil this week, and they will end the season with Great Britain. So there will be a reverse calendar run on Thursday nights. So tune in for that, and we'll catch you guys next week for Belgium. Have a great night. All right, later, guys.